material cover, but at least like be sure that you cover what's already on the website. Okay? Maybe this will be for final. Yeah. Okay, let's start. I create small review for SQL just to for people who forget that information. Just refresh your memory about that, and then next and I created also small code for that. I will show it to you, and then next lecture we will explain layered architecture. So SQL stands for Structured Query Language, and it is a standard language for accessing database. If you have a string type data in SQL, it is surrounded by single quotation marks. However, in C++, Java, or C#, string are enclosed by double quotation marks. This is very important information. We will need to use this while we are writing our code. We will explain the following statement: SQL select statement, insert, update, and delete. So we will work on the database I just showed you, which is student database, okay? For select statement, it is a good idea to store tables with plural name because it will store more than one entry. In our student database, we have several tables. For example, we have students table, courses tables, and enrollments table. To keep tracking whose student is enrolled in a particular course. So this is student table. It has student ID, which is the primary key, first name, last name, address, and major. We have courses table, which has course name, credit hours. We have enrollment, which has to have a common key with both tables, because enrollment track whose student is registered in a specific course. Okay? Because if we want to, I will show you, if we want to combine student with courses, there is no common field between these two tables. At that point of time, you need another table which has keys that are common with both tables. Okay? How do we select a data from particular table? Sometimes we select data from tables, sometimes we select data from multiple tables. If you want to select data from one table, for example, if SQL is select start from students, the result, this is the result after I execute this command. This will give us all columns and all rows from student table. Okay? Let's take another example. Retrieve all students who are in CS major. So the SQL will be select start from student. So we start with select. We specify what we need. So we need all column. Then from student, we specify the name of that particular table, and we sometimes can give a condition like I need all the students who are in CS major. So I only will retrieve, as you see here, I only will retrieve the Bill, Sally, all the people who are registered in CS. Okay. However, the student table will have C. People are registered in CS, EE, Math, and here I only get the people who are registered in CS course. Select last name and student ID, so we can specify a column of students who are in CS major, and then after select you specify the name of the column you need to retrieve, and then this will give us the last name and the student ID from student table who are only registered in CS. Another example, we also can give the column a different name as we make the selection. So maybe the column are named last name in the student database, and I want to give it a different name. So I want to show the column name in the grid view with L name. So I want this column to appear with a different name. We can do that. For example, select last name as L name. So you need to add the word as, comma, then student ID as ID, from student where major CS. Once you execute this statement, you will get a name. This is in C# in the grid view, and you will get ID. Okay. Select last name and student ID ordered by last name. So we can sort the data in the tables. For example, I want to sort the data by last name. So select last name, student name. Then, so you identify the column that you need, and then specify the table name. And then you can further write where clause, and then you can further sort these data. Okay. So all students who are in CS major will get sorted by last name. The default for sorting is ascending. So if I didn't specify what kind of order I want, ascending or descending, the default will be ascending. Select last name and student ID ordered by last name. It will, all students will get sorted by last name. The default sorting is ascending, as I mentioned. Select last name and student ID ordered by last name. We also have a keyword ASC to store the data in ascending order. So this is how I will write the statement. Select last name, student ID from student, order by last name, and then you add ASC word. That means that sort in ascending order. This is the result you will get. Try to execute these commands and to see, just verify the result that you will get and have understanding, because we need to work on these statements for next lecture. Select last name and student ID ordered by last name. We also have a keyword descend, DESC, short for descending, to sort out in descending order. And I add it at the end. So see, now you will see Simpson, the first one when I sort in descending order. However, you will see the last one when I order in ascending order. Select last name, student ID who are in CS major ordered by last name in ascending order. This is we specify more fields. Select last name and student ID from student who are in CS major ordered by last name and in ascending order. So, as a summary, selecting data from a table in a database involves following steps. Use select word, then specify column names. You can give aliases for column name. For example, select last name as name. Select student ID as ID. So it will deal with that alias I give it. Then specify the table name. You can further use where clause, and you can further use order by. There is sometimes we need to select data from multiple tables. So whatever I explain is selecting data from one table. So how if you want to select data from multiple tables? For that case, you need to do join, because you will have multiple tables and you will look for common column between these tables. So always follow these three important rules. If you follow these rules, there will not be any confusion. Rule 1, give each table name as an alias. So give it a nickname. So each table you have, like student, you can give it S. Courses, you can give it C. Enrollment, you can give it E. If there is two tables with the same first letter, like if you have dorms, you give it D. If you have dorm student, like students who live on campus in that particular dorm, and then you can give it DS, because there is some students who live off campus, for example. So first, give each table an alias, a letter. It can be one letter or two letters. Select column from different tables by prefixing each column from table alias. Like for example, if you want to choose first name from student, then you write S dot first name. So S is the name, so prefix that column with the alias of that table. Join one table at a time. Join one table at a time. As as an information, when you write select a statement, no matter how long is it, it only can be typed on one line. So you cannot split string in 2 lines because it's string. Okay, just keep this in mind. But maybe in the presentation you will see I cannot put it in 1 line if it's very long, so I put it in 2 or 3 lines. But when you write your code, it will not be executed. It has to be on the same line. We need to join table, as I mentioned. We have different types of join. The most popular are inner join and left join. Left join, there is also right join. Left join and right join always give the same result. So we will stick with these 2 kinds. To join 2 tables, you have to find a column that is common between 2 tables, okay? When we use inner join, we are combining data from multiple tables, but data has to exist in each table, okay? If one of the tables did not have the data, it will not give you that row or that record. So for example, if you have a student table, and if you have student table, courses table, and you have dorm table, okay, and you have dorm student table. So the dorm table will have like the dorm ID and the dorm name, and dorm student will have student ID and in which dorm they live. Some students, they don't live on campus, you know. And then if you do inner join between student, courses, and dorms, and there is a student is registered or enrolled in a course, but he don't live on campus, you will not get this report if you are using inner join, because inner join, the data has to exist in all tables. So if the student, if I have the student is registered in a course, so the student name is or the student ID and name will be in student table, and I will have the course. I will have his name also in the enrollment because he's enrolled for a course, and he lives in North Hall, for example. So this entry is available in all tables. When I use inner join, I will get this entry. However, if there is a student who doesn't live on any dorm related to university, he lives on campus, then I will not get this record. But so in that case, I use left join. Left join, it will give me this record, but it will give me blank under the dorm name. So sometimes you might need this. Okay, so if the data is available in all tables, we use inner join. If maybe you think that some entries will be in some table and will not appear in different table, but you still need to know the student ID, which course he's registered in, and if he doesn't live in the dorm, just give me this blank, right? And then in that case you use left join. And I created example to show you this now. I just demonstrate that. So for example, select data from multiple tables. Select, if I give course table C, alias as C, and if I give like enrollment E, and then we can write select C dot course name, E dot section num from courses C, inner join, enrollment E on, as I mentioned, there has to be one column which is common between 2 tables. So I need to retrieve the course name and I need to retrieve the section name. So course name is in course table, and section name is enrollment table. So there will be a column from courses and another column from enrollment table. Okay. So no matter it's up to you. However, you will order these column here, but you have to prefix the column name with the table alias. So course name where it appears in courses, and courses we give it alias C. So you put C point course name comma, and section num is in enrollment. So you put E point section num, and then now you have to specify from courses, and now you have to do join. So after you mention the table name, then you give it the alias, and then you do inner join. Each time we put one inner join. So first you write select, then you specify the column, no matter the order. But before each column, you have to specify the alias of the table from which this column belongs, and then you have to start list the table with inner join. And at that point, you have to find common field or common field between two tables for joining. Sometimes, if you want to join two tables and there is common field, you might need another table. For example, if I have student table and course table and there is no common column, then I will need to see the enrollment table, because enrollment has student ID and has course num, and it shows what students are registered in which courses. So I write select, I prefix each column with the table from which it appears, and then I start list the table with inner join. So from courses, I give it alias C, inner join. I want to combine courses with enrollment. Why? Because course name from course table and section num from enrollment. Okay? So I put inner join E, enrollment E. So once I mention the table name, then I put the alias I give it to that particular table. On. After on, I will put what is the common field. So the common field is course num. Course num is here and also is here. So on E dot course num equals C dot course num. You can switch between these. The orders doesn't matter. Okay. And then you can add at the end where. Okay, where anywhere close you want. So select column names, prefixing these names with the letter for that particular table. Then start list the table and do inner join, one join at the time. And then on the common field between these two tables. So this is for select statement. For insert statement, so as you see how I write my SQL, I wrote here my SQL statement on multiple lines, but in the code it has to come in one line. But this is, of course, cannot fit in the slide. For insert statement, like sometimes you have the data you want to retrieve in your code as variable. So how you can write these the code for, in this case, for insert statement. So for example, we have course num CS500 and we have course name, pattern recognition, and we have credit hours 3. And I want to write insert statement. So I start insert into this keyword, and then I mention the table name, and I open parentheses, and then I mention the field. So the field in the course was course num, course name, and credit hours. And these three, I have the values already specified in my code. And then after I finish, I will write values and open parentheses. Now, we need to look for the orders. The first parameter is course num. What type this parameter is? It's string. So now string string in SQL have to be enclosed with single quotation. That's why after I put the I opened the parentheses, I put that quotation because I want course num to be between single quotation. Okay, and then I put course num, the value. Then after that I have to close it because it's still a string. I open it with single quotation, I have to close it with another single quotation. So I put another single quotation, and then I need this comma also. So that's why I put like, I close the single quotation and I put comma. Now I concatenate. So we concatenate the fields that we need, the fields in the column fields. And then we use course name. So course name also is a string. I only use this single quotation when it's string type of data. So I have to concatenate it with single quotation, put the field, course name, and then close it with single quotation. And I need now to put this comma, concatenate this with credit hours. You have to practice on this. Credit hours 3, so credit hours is integer, no need to put it in single quotation, and we just convert it to 2 string, and then we close it. So once you expand this, it will become like this. So for me, when I want to retrieve this kind, I write it that way, and then I said insert into courses, and these will stay until here the same. Insert into courses, the table, because at the same time you only can insert at one table. You only can delete from one table. You can update one table. So first you have to put insert into, then the table name, then the column. We don't have problem with that. Then values. Values is keyword. So I will put this in double quotation because this is in C#. And then I will look at the values of each column. So course num is string. So it will become like this. The value, comma, CS 500, comma, and then pattern recognition and 3. And here where I put the single quotation, which is this, and then the course num, which is the value CS 500, and then I need what? I need to close that string, and I need to put comma, and then for the next column, right? So this is where I concatenate this with the single quotation plus comma. I finish this. Now I have another string, so I have to do the same thing. So I will open double quotation and put inside single quotation, and then the field name, and then when I want to enclose it with single quotation and comma to write the third field. If the field is integer, then I don't need to use single quotation. So, I mean, if you get confused while writing this statement, because we need to use it, and then you try to expand it, always this part from insert until values, this is the same. And now because you have to assign value for each column. So you have to be careful for this order. Like course num, the first value has to be course num. If the second column is course name, here it has to be the course name. And the third column is credit hours, here you have to add the credit hours. This is for insert statement. Update and delete is straightforward. Update student set major EE where student ID and give it an ID, and we do update in the beginning of this lecture when we update the price and give it a new price. And delete, and as I mentioned, update and delete or insert only on one table. And we learn how to select column from one table. We can expand this further using where, we can expand it further using order to sort the values. And if we want to select from column from multiple table, we have to do join. And for join, you have to give the table alias. You have to prefix the column name with that letter, and then you have to do inner join. So one join at the time. if you want the value, if the value, you want to see the values which appear in all, you use inner join. If you still want to see the value, even if it's not in some tables, you will use left join. For delete from enrollment, so delete from, then you write the table name and you put where close, whatever condition you want. So this presentation I will upload this presentation for on the website next week, and I will still continue on Wednesday for layered architecture. And then I just will show you one small thing.
This is a class.
Okay, maybe next lecture I wrote code to demonstrate the select statement I just showed you here, and to see what data we will retrieve. Select, insert, update. I will demonstrate this next Wednesday, and then we will conclude layered architecture. Thank you.